From reading fairy tales as a child to dreaming of restoring a historic French chateau, most of us have longed to live in a palatial castle at some point in our lives. While many of these properties are homes of the super rich, each one is privately owned and has been on the market at some point, meaning they are all within reach should the funds become available. From a rustic New York castle in the heart of the Adirondack Mountains to an enchanting hillside Castello in the Italian Alps, these remarkable properties are what dreams are made of. Grab your tiara and let's explore some majestic castles we'd love to call home. Up first, we visit Fon Castle. You'd never run out of space again if you owned Fon Castle. This sprawling estate is situated in the Vale of Glamorgan, South Wales, and occupies nearly 950 acres of land. Dating back to the 12th century, the great I-listed Noone Castle no doubt once belonged to a prestigious family. However, in recent years, it has been used as a wedding and events venue. While the castle's pretty facade is decorated with ivy, the interior is colorful and eclectic. It measures 12,000 square feet and boasts an impressive entrance hall, endless reception rooms, and countless bedrooms. Plus, everywhere you look, you'll spot incredible features such as herringbone timber floors, soaring ceilings, vintage light fixtures, and full-height bay windows that flood the rooms with natural light. As well as the sprawling main castle, the estate also benefits from 8 houses and cottages, several farm buildings and outbuildings, all of which could be converted into additional accommodation. Last for sale with Savills, the remarkable British home, was listed for a cool $1.1 million. Up next, we visit Sauberg Castle. Germany is jam-packed with gorgeous castles, and Sauberg is just one of them. Positioned in the heart of the Rhine Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this enchanting fortress features a soaring, weathered tower and a main brick castle decorated with pretty pitched roofs. Enclosed by towering trees, the property sits on almost 2.5 acres of land and comes with a quaint courtyard garden that offers the perfect welcome. It's thought the castle was built sometime between 1355 and 1361 by Count Ruprecht, who sought permission from Archbishop Gerlach of Mainz. Over the years, it has been used as a hunting lodge and as a defensive fortress. Today, it's a unique home in the midst of one of Germany's most impressive regions. As for the interior, it stretches 7,965 square feet and encompasses 19 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms, as well as a banqueting hall, a vaulted stone cellar, and plenty of living rooms decorated with European fireplaces and built-in bookcases. Thanks to a recent renovation, the interior is fresh and modern, but there are plenty of authentic period features throughout too, including stained glass windows depicting coats of arms, wood-paneled walls, ornate metalwork, intricate chandeliers, and statement ceilings. Up next, we go to Mountainside Castle in Utah. Positioned on a mountainside above Salt Lake Valley, this majestic modern castle is also minutes from 7 world-class ski resorts. Providing incredible views from almost every window, it was built in 2005 and no expense was spared in its design or construction. Outside, there's almost an acre of land, while inside you'll find 10,000 square feet of space. As soon as you step through the front door, you'll be blown away. Every bit as impressive as its facade, the interior offers exposed stone walls, arched doorways, wrought iron work, and medieval-style light fixtures, which make the house appear older than it is. As for rooms, you'll find an impressive entrance foyer, an enormous kitchen with a never-ending ceiling, a grand living room, a formal dining room, 5 bedrooms, and 4 bathrooms. Plus, there are plenty of amazing extras you might not expect, including a movie theater, storage cellar, indoor pool and spa, games room, fitness center, and observatory, where you can take in the night sky. It was recently for sale for just over $1 million. Up next, we visit Thornbury Castle. Thornbury Castle is the epitome of the classic English castle. In fact, it was here that infamous King Henry VIII and his second wife, Anne Boleyn, honeymooned in 1535. The ill-fated couple spent 10 days at the property as part of their belated honeymoon tour, and we can certainly see what drew them to the place. The Tudor castle can be found in Bristol, Gloucestershire, and dates back to the 1520s. It was constructed by Edward Stafford, the only man to rival King Henry VIII's wealth and status at that time, according to the castle's official website. Of course, the fiery king saw this display of status and wealth as a direct insult, and Edward Stafford was soon found guilty of treason. Henry VIII took control of the castle, and it became a beloved retreat for him and his future wives. The royal home later passed through the hands of Henry VIII's children, Edward VI and Queen Mary Tudor. Today, it's a successful hotel and wedding venue. Of course, there are plenty of majestic rooms where guests can relax and soak up the splendor of 16th century luxury. Every single room is gorgeously presented, with some featuring decorative ceilings, stone fireplaces, four-poster beds, and dramatic chandeliers. There's also a grand ballroom and a dungeon dining room. Up next, we visit the castle in the forest. If you're not one for traditional, then the castle in the forest is sure to appeal to you. Located in scenic Christina Lake, British Columbia, on an enchanting mountainside plot, the property was constructed in 1976 and boasts a storybook facade that makes it totally one of a kind. The eye-catching home gets its unique shape thanks to multiple layers of steel mesh and reinforced concrete plaster. In fact, it's very similar to classic bubble homes that were built during the 1970s, only this property was designed to resemble a modern castle. It was also crafted to last for centuries, and this traditional building technique renders it resistant to fire, rot, and even insects. Measuring 2,700 square feet, the wonderful White House features colored concrete floors, pretty arched doors and windows, vaulted ceilings, and stained glass elements. As for rooms, there's a lounge, a kitchen, a music room, and a mezzanine office. Yet the home's best feature is likely its three-story tower, where you'll find all of the property's 3 bedrooms, which are connected via a spiral staircase. Up next, we visit Earls Castle. Earls Castle was built in the 16th century and has lost none of its grandeur. The castle is enclosed by 53 acres of parkland near St. Andrews in Fife and has a rich and fascinating history. For starters, it once played host to the infamous monarch, Mary Queen of Scots. Plus, it's got plenty of space: 6 reception rooms, 10 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and even 3 cottages for guests. It's no wonder the pad comes with an eye-watering price tag of $4 million. Undeniably, one of the UK's most remarkable homes, the castle was devised by Sir William Bruce, a gentleman architect who's said to have effectively founded classical architecture in Scotland. Work began in 1546, and he added plenty of defensive elements, like musket loops and small, strategically placed windows as insurance against future invasions. He named the stately home after the hunting lodge of the Earls, which was owned by the Earls of Fife, who were relatives of King Robert de Bruce. The interior is overflowing with incredible period features and historic elements that have stood the test of time. For one, Alexander Bruce's marriage is commemorated on the granite fireplace in the Great Hall, while the painted ceiling in the long gallery features the coats of arms of European royalty and Scottish noble families. As for the grounds, they boast magnificent listed walled gardens that were laid out by Robert Lorimer, a bowling green, an orchard, a 125-year-old topiary lawn, and what has been called the Secret Garden. Up next, we visit Mondstadt Castle. Located on top of a rocky outcrop overlooking the peaks and troughs of Piedmont and the Aosta Valley, Mondstadt Castle was built in Neo-Gothic style, around a 9th century tower. Truly one of the most romantic castles in the world, the historic gem can be reached via a panoramic staircase that leads to the castle's enchanting gardens. Stretching just over 8,600 square feet, the dreamy residence has a large entrance gallery, a living room, a formal dining room, an adjacent kitchen, a stateroom, a studio room, 8 bedrooms, and 3 bathrooms. Of course, every single space is decorated beautifully, from painted frescoes that reflect the history of the building to parquet floors, stained glass details, and huge European fireplaces. As for the grounds, they're remarkable. Filled with native flowers and fruit trees, it's the perfect spot for an afternoon stroll. Plus, the view from the castle's walls is truly unforgettable. The property recently sold for an undisclosed sum. We're sure it was worth every single penny. Up next, we visit the castle in Ontario. With a very apt name, the castle lies on half an acre of land in the Canadian city of Mississauga, Ontario. Truly impressive, it boasts a seriously dramatic facade with a fairy tale tower, battlements, and other dreamy storybook design details, and that's just the exterior. The amazing Canadian home has an equally remarkable interior. Constructed in 1976, the pad stretches 2,620 square feet and comes complete with sprawling living spaces, finished with high-end materials and designer furnishings. There's an entrance hall, several formal living rooms, a dining room, 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and 2 home offices. The huge attic is also waiting to be transformed into a dreamy master suite. Basement is currently the ultimate man cave. Yet the finest space in the house has to be this exquisite bedroom. Just look at that cathedral ceiling and stained glass window. There are plenty of other amazing design elements throughout too, from coffered ceilings and stone floors to expansive fireplaces and hand-painted murals. Other highlights include the home swimming pool, koi pond, hot tub, and custom kitchen. Up next, we visit Glenborodale Castle. Fit for a king or queen, Glenborodale Castle is situated in the Scottish Highlands and was built using red Dumfriesshire sandstone in 1902. A fine example of a Scots baronial mansion, the property soars up 5 stories and boasts everything a VIP could ever need, and much more. The pad hit the market in summer 2020 for a snip under $1.5 million, but the lucky buyer didn't just gain a new castle. The listing included 133 acres of land and a private island known as the Isle of Risga. They also gained more than 15,000 square feet of interior space, including 16 bedrooms, 3 reception rooms, and a games room, all kitted out with refined period details. Think marble floors, oak paneling, arched windows, and ornate cornicing. Outside is just as remarkable. There are several stone terraces and walled gardens, as well as sections that overlook Loch Sunart and the Morven Hills. There's even a gate lodge, a detached coach house, a gym, a boathouse, and a jetty. We'd say that's pretty good bang for your buck. Up next, we visit this 34-bedroom French chateau. Located in Jura in the French region of Franche-Comté, this incredible 34-bedroom castle sits inside an almost 200-acre walled park, and as well as the 5-story castle itself, there's also a square tower and 6 outbuildings. The huge castle was listed in 2018 for around $5 million, but is now back on the market with prestige property for an undisclosed sum. But we're sure the price is still eye-watering, especially considering the chateau provides 75,500 square feet of interior space. Fit for a monarch, there's a grand entrance hall with a Gothic staircase, a Napoleonic drawing room, a billiard room, a library, and a summer dining room that opens onto a courtyard garden. Of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It isn't just the interior that's overflowing with features either. Outside, you'll find a huge equestrian center with 40 stables, an indoor riding school and a tack room, as well as a gardener's house, a 19th century forge that's still operational, an old bakery with period ovens, a swimming pool, a walled vegetable garden, numerous canals, 2 lakes, and an English river. Talk about fancy. Up next, we visit Harald Tower. This beautiful Gothic castle was built in 1833 and can be found on the coast of Douglas on the Isle of Man. Known as Harald Tower, the remarkable residences has everything you could ask for a private setting within walled grounds, plenty of bedrooms, a separate coach house, a cottage for VIP guests, and of course, wonderful sea views. Positioned on an elevated plot overlooking the bay at Douglas Head, the castle is said to be named after King Harold, and it isn't hard to understand why. It's certainly fit for a royal family. The property was once owned by English painter and engraver John Martin, who created the Plains of Heaven and the Great Day of His Wrath. It was later used as a hotel. Since then, it has been lovingly restored and now benefits from a classical yet high-end interior brimming with gold detailing and plush fabrics. The renovation was inspired by the work of interior designer Jean-Louis Manguy, who advised on the project and even sourced some of the furnishings, fabrics, and carpets on display throughout the home. The house was listed for sale in 2018 and sold for around $899,000. Up next, we visit Noone Castle. Once hosting the likes of Sir Winston Churchill, the incredible 18th century Noone Castle is located in County Westmeath in Ireland. The Gothic Revival property is situated within a scenic parkland estate stretching more than 1,000 acres. Let's take a closer look. The huge castle was built by Sir Richard Levange, who commissioned Sir Richard Morrison to design the imposing structure in 1810. However, neither of Morrison's 2 designs were built, and the castle we see today has been credited to James Shiel, assistant to Francis Johnston, one of Ireland's best-known architects. However, according to the listing, the exterior of the castle was influenced by Morrison's discarded designs. Noone spans 19,000 square feet and boasts rooms decorated with striking features. From a staircase made of carved oak to a central glazed dome and an elaborate first-floor gallery, this castle was clearly designed to impress. There are countless reception rooms, a drawing room, a dining room, a ballroom, and a library, as well as 12 bedrooms. The crown bedroom is where Winston Churchill stayed during the War of Independence. Up next, we go to Shalan Castle. In the village of Oud-Valkenburg, part of the Limburg province of the Netherlands, the enormous Shalan Castle finds itself on an island, surrounded by a moat. Sitting on a 19-acre plot, consisting of beautifully maintained grounds and several outbuildings that could be converted to make smaller homes, this property is what dream chateaus are made of. As for the property's history, it's thought that the castle was originally built in the 12th century and was expanded in the following century. However, it almost completely burned down in 1575. Johan Reinier Hoen van Cartils restored the castle in 1656 after years of vacancy. After the French occupation in 1814, the castle became the property of the de Vere-Maubourg de Clay family, and in 1894, they restored it once again, with help from architect Pierre Kuiper. The impressive chateau has an 8,000 square foot interior with 37 bedrooms. While the exterior is defined by its stone walls, turreted roofs, and pretty fairy tale towers, the interior is all about period drama. There are gilded fireplaces, beam ceilings, and tiled floors, not to mention endless antiques. The property has been on the market for over a year and is currently priced at $1.2 million. Up next, we visit Highlands Castle in New York. You might not expect to find a fairy tale castle in the USA, but Highlands Castle proves they do exist. The property lies in Warren County, New York, and has amazing views of Lake George and the surrounding Adirondack Mountains, and that's just for starters. Of course, the castle boasts suitably grand features both outside and inside, with stained glass doors, a sweeping staircase, hanging tapestries, pitched ceilings finished with exposed beams, and suits of armor standing guard. There's a dramatic foyer, a great hall, a music room, a library, a kitchen, a dining room, a family room, a coat room, and much more. It might appear like the property was constructed centuries ago, but this historic home isn't all it seems. In fact, it wasn't built until the 1980s. However, the then owner did their best to create a jaw-dropping estate that would instantly transport people to a bygone era. If you fancy playing prince or princess, then the castle is available to rent via Airbnb. You could even host your wedding here. Up next, we visit Chateau de Valer. Located in the beautiful Bergerac region of France, this sprawling chateau has 64 acres of grounds, complete with parkland, gardens, an orchard, wells, and even a box hedge labyrinth. With 17th and 19th century origins, it was last restored in the 1990s, but has retained many of its original features. The 15,000 square foot property enjoys dominating views over the beautiful surrounding countryside. Inside, there are 10 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 2 dining rooms, 2 reception rooms, 2 offices, 2 kitchens, and a library. So it's more than big enough for you and your entire entourage. The castle also boasts a charming cour d'honneur, which is an inner courtyard and comes with plenty of outbuildings including stables, a tack room, and a workshop with a salt swimming pool in the center. There's also a 2-bedroom guardian's cottage and a 3-bedroom guest cottage with a garage. That makes this the ultimate home for anyone seeking a stylish and secluded estate. If you've fallen in love, then it's currently for sale for just shy of $1 million. Up next, we go to Castle Chianti. With a history dating over 1,000 years, this beautiful castle can be found between Florence and Siena in Italy's iconic Tuscany region. The property's 232-acre grounds benefit from a swimming pool, woodland, and olive groves, as well as working vineyards. Remarkably, the historic castle comes complete with 54,000 square feet of interior space, including 2 dominant fairy tale towers. The castle is centered around a charming courtyard, and its main body has been fully restored, with 19 ensuite bedrooms, grand staterooms, extensive cellars, and staff accommodation. There are plenty of amazing features throughout, too, from the curving brick ceilings of the cellars to paneled walls and marble floors. Plus, according to the listing, the estate's vines produce between 70,000 and 90,000 bottles a year, so this property comes with a job thrown in. If you fancy snapping it up, it's for sale via Prestige Property for an undisclosed sum. Up next, we visit Castello de Kimat. This incredible 70-bedroom castle in Lombardy, Italy, dates back to 1149, but was reconstructed by the powerful Visconti family in 1345. They renamed it the Citadel, and today, it functions as a high-end hotel. In addition to its many rooms, It also has a spa, a large banquet hall, a restaurant, a swimming pool, and 3 tennis courts. There's even a billionaire-friendly helipad to boot. Space certainly isn't an issue with this property. The Castello occupies an incredible 130,000 square feet and features a wealth of original features, such as a drawbridge and observation towers. Plus, the interior rooms are decorated with gorgeous painted frescoes, stone floors, and vaulted ceilings. As well as gorgeous period details and surprising extras, the property has a rich history too. The castle's lavish bedrooms have hosted many important guests, including Ludovico the Moor and Emperor Maximilian Prummer of Habsburg. Plus, many of the rooms have lovely views over a spectacular park. Up next, we visit Chateau de Mbran. One of only 4 12th-century castles still standing in France, living in this chateau would be a dream for anyone with an interest in history. It's said that Richard the Lionheart passed away here and was buried in the grounds. Known as Chateau de Mbran, the medieval property was finished in 1179 and lies in Limousin on a private 415-acre estate. Enclosed by a moated lake, it has everything a VIP could want and need, including a chapel, dungeons, a drawbridge, a princess bedroom, and even a spa with a sauna and jacuzzi. Stretching almost 37,000 square feet, the castle has a dreamy interior filled with authentic details, such as medieval-inspired light fixtures, brick walls, 4-poster beds, and timber floors. The fully renovated interior benefits from a great hall, 16 bedrooms, and 13 bathrooms, so you could easily get lost in its endless corridors. It's no wonder it last sold for an estimated $6 million. Up next, we visit Castello de Valer. This enchanting castle is just as spectacular as the landscape that surrounds it. Set in the heart of the Italian Alps, at the base of the mighty Brenta Dolomites, Castello de Valer was constructed on the foundations of a Roman castle, built between the 12th and 17th centuries, and has belonged to the aristocratic Sauberg family since 1368. That is, however, until they decided to sell it in 2016. They sold the beautiful building via auction, and at the time, it was valued at $4.7 million. As spacious as it is enchanting, the castle has 80 rooms across 35,000 square feet of space. Every single room is exquisitely decorated with Romanesque, Baroque, and Gothic architectural features, plush fabrics and antique furnishings, think rustic ceiling beams, full-height stone fireplaces, wood inlay floors, and 16th century frescoes painted by Marcello Fogolino. Plus, the property has almost too many selling points. There are 18 acres of land surrounding it, 15 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, an octagonal granite tower, a knight's hall, 5 kitchens, and not 1, but 2 chapels. This particular one is utterly incredible, with its colorful, well-preserved frescoes that were curated by famous painters of the age. Who wouldn't want to make this dreamy castle their own? Alright everyone, I think that's going to wrap this video up. Like I mentioned in the beginning, follow all my social media, and also 50% of the people who watch me don't subscribe. So just, if you're watching, just click the subscribe button. It's free, it means a lot. And then an alternative option would be to become a member, which costs a couple dollars, but then, you know, I'll be calling you guys, FaceTiming you guys. You get cool badges, you get exclusive videos. I'll be making videos that I can't show, like public channel. So you guys get a ton of cool features and by clicking here and becoming a member. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you guys. Thank you for the constant support. Feel free to share this video on anything, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.